Practice test for test 1. I'm going to do non-repeated questions. Let's look at the number 1. Solve the inequality. Graph the solution set. So this is the inequality you have given. So how do you solve it? First of all, number 1, just solve means find the value of c. So isolate the c. For that you have to bring this -1 to that side, so we can add 1 both sides, and by doing that we have now -7c is less than 28. There is a -7, so we need to divide both sides by -7, but keep in mind, when you divide or multiply by negative number, this inequality sign, you just have to flip it. Okay, so after that, this -7 and this -7 will be cancelled out. It will give you c is greater than, if you divide 28 by -7, it will give you -4. So the answer is anything greater than -4. In the set builder notation, you have to use this, and you can say the solution is all c such that c is greater than -4. That's your solution. And when you try to write down the same thing in interval notation, because it is started -4, not including -4, so you have to use this open parenthesis starting from -4, and anything greater than -4 means there is no boundary to the right side, so it goes from -4 to positive infinity. When you try to plot the graph, you have to choose a point which is -4. -4 is here, and then line which is here. So anything greater than -4 up to positive infinity. Okay, that's number 1. Let's go to number 2. Once again, solve the inequality. There are two variable here on the left side and right side, so you have to bring all the variable on one side. It's very similar to problem number 1. So first of all, copy the problem and bring all the variable on left side and all the constant on the right side, meaning there is a -3w on the right side, so to bring it to the left side, just add 3w on both sides. And then there is a positive 16. We have to take it to the right side, meaning just subtract 16. Remember, whatever operation we do on one side, we have to do the same thing on both sides. So after this, we can see that 3w plus 3w gives us 6w. Positive 16 and -16 cancel out. That's the point. This -3w and positive 3w cancel out, and -16 and -14 gives you -30, and there is an inequality sign greater or equal. So to find out the w, you just have to divide both sides by 6. So w is greater or equal to -5. So that's our answer. So simplify your answer as much as possible. This is the simplified form. The answer is w is greater or equal to -6. -5, sorry, -5. Okay, next problem. We have to graph the set. Set is given any real number greater than 1, so you can start with not including 1, so this is just a greater. There is no equal sign here, so you have to use this hollow dot at point 1, and because you are going to the right side, so you have to use this line to this side, so it represents anything greater than 1. You have to fill in all the empty boxes. Oh yeah, here is the empty box. Then write the set using interval notation. So if you want to write down this thing in the interval notation, because 1 is not including, so you have to use the parenthesis for the positive 1, and then there is no boundary on the right side, so it goes up to positive infinity. Okay. Number 4, 1 is less or equal to 9b minus 9 less than 36. Add 9, so it will be 10 is less or equal, 9b is less or equal 45, and divide everything by 9, it will be 10 over 9. It's a 5, less than only, okay, less than only. So the answer would be 10 over 9. So 10 over 9 means it's slightly greater than 1, and less than sorry, I have to use bracket here, slightly greater than 1, and parenthesis 5. Okay, parenthesis at 5, and I also have to use this interval from this point to this point here. Now I have to use the interval notation, which is bracket first, which is 11 over 9 and 5. What did I get here? It should be 5, yes. 10 over 9, sorry, it's not 11, it's 10 over 9. 10 over 9 and 5. Yeah, that's right. So you don't have to find out the exact point here, just choose the approximate point, but don't forget to put this line in between this parentheses and bracket. Okay. A union B, meaning everything from A and B. So we use this braces here, 0, 6, 12, 18, 0, 5, 10, 15, 18. So 0, 5, 6, 10, 12, 15, and finally 18. That's union. Union means everything from A and B. Intersection means common thing from A and B. As you can see, the common is 0 and 18. 0 and 18. So 0, comma 18. And again, union of A and C, everything from A and C, which is negative 4, comma 0, comma 6, comma 12, comma 18. Everything from A and C. What did I do wrong? Negative 4 is here, 0 is here, 6 is there, 12 is there. Oh, instead of 18 I wrote 8, so let me recheck it. Okay, that's the right answer. And intersection, the very same idea. Intersection of A and C means common thing, which is 6. As you can see, 6 and 12. 6, comma 12. B union C, you can do the same thing. What is the union from B and C? Everything from B and C, which is negative 4, 0, 5, 6, 10, 12, 15, 18. So negative 4, 0, 5, 6, 10, 12, and 18. Let me double check it. Negative 4, 0, 5, 6, 10, 12, 15, 18. 10, 12, 15. I was missing 15 here, and 18. That's right. Intersection is common between B and C, which is only, what is the common thing? 12 is here, 6 is here, negative 4 is here. There is nothing common. So that means if there is nothing common, you just have to use the empty set. Okay, that's how we can find out union and intersection. Let's go to the next problem. This is again union and intersection, but in the interval notation. So as you can see that from 0 to 6 and negative 1 to infinity, you need to find the union. So look at here. To understand this problem, you can always draw a diagram. So this is problem 6. So 0, here is the 0 to 6, here is the 6 not including 6, and another set is -1 including -1 to positive infinity, meaning going up to here. So union means everything from the left side to extreme right side, which is everything from -1 to infinity. So union is -1 to positive infinity. And intersection, as you can see here, the intersection means what is the common between the bigger set and a small set? The common is the small set, this one, this part, which is 0 to 6. So including 0 and not including 6, that's the intersection. Okay, let's go to next problem. Okay, this is compound inequality. The last time we solved, what is that? Yeah, it's a three-side inequality. Number 4 was three-side inequality. And if you have more than one inequality and there is a bit and or between them, then that's called compound inequality. And means, you know, intersection. So x is less than 7 and x is greater or equal to 5. You need to find the intersection of those two things. So 7, one is less than 7, let's say this one, 7 and less, everything on the left side, and another one is 5 and greater. So 5 is this is 6, this is 5, for example, including 5, everything from here to right side. So we want to find out the and means intersection. Intersection means, as you can see here, the common part between these two is from 1 to up to this point, which is 7, from 5 to 7, from 5 to 7. So the answer is from 5, including 5 and not including 7. So line between them, this one. So as you can see here, intersection and means intersection is from 5 to 7. Common between these two is from 5 to 7. Okay. Union and intersection, I'm not going to repeat the very similar type of problem. It's just draw the graph for first set, which is less than 1, and second set is greater or equal to 9, and use the same approach we used for previous problems. Factor, find out the factor. For finding the factor, you can use AC method or any other methods you want. You know. Here it's y square minus 5y minus 14. AC method means you need to find out, let's say you have ay square plus by plus c. You need to find out a, b and c. Here a is a number in front of y square, which is 1. b is a number in front of y, which is -5, and c is number which is constant, which is -14. So for finding the factor, you need to find a times c, which is 1 times -14, which is -14. Now you have to come up with the two number whose product is -14 and sum is -5. So those two number would be -7 times 2, because when you multiply -7 and 2, it gives you -14, but when you add -7 and 2, it gives you -5. So now we can split this -5 as a -7 and +2. So I'm going to rewrite this problem. After finding those two number, we can just split this 5 as a -7y and +2y. Remember, -7 and +2 is -5. So I'm not adding anything else. I'm just rearranging terms. And that comes from the AC method. So now for finding the factor, we factor 2 using the grouping method, meaning we make a group from these two and group from these two. And we try to find out the greatest factor, common factor from these two, which is y. And it gives you the leftover. After you factor out y, the leftover from the first part is y. The sign is coming from here. And because this y is already gone here, the leftover is 7. by using the same approach, if you look at the this 2, the common factor is 2. If you take this 2 outside, the leftover would be y, and then from here it's 7 because 7 times 2 is 14. Now you can see y minus 7 is here, y minus 7 is here, so you can just factor out y minus 7 and write down the leftover from here, which is y, and from here it's a plus 2. So this is the factor for this problem: y minus 7 and y plus 2, y minus 7 and y plus 2. Let's double check our answer: y minus 7 times y plus 2. Let's go to the next problem. You can use the same approach, the approach we use here, using the AC method for finding the factors. So I'm not going to repeat the similar question here. Factor completely. Okay, as you can see here, you can use the AC method or the method but AC method would be the best one. So you can use the same approach, so I'm not going to repeat it. Okay, again, it's a factoring, but this is very easy type of factoring because it's a complete square. Okay, 4 times 1 is 4, and there is a 4, so you can say 2 plus 2 is 4. 2 times 2 is 4, so the answer would be w plus 2 whole square. But you can always use that AC method. Okay, it's a perfect square trinomial, so finding the factor is easy. Once again, it's a 8 times 2, 8 times 3 is 24 times 48. So this is again perfect square trinomial, meaning what I'm saying is the first term, any factors which can appear like this: a square plus 2 times a times b plus b square, is called perfect square trinomial because factor of this type of thing is a plus b whole square. In our example here, you can write down this 64v square as a 8v whole square, and then you can write down the last term 9 as a 3 whole square, and you can write down the middle term as a 2 times 8 times b times 3. If you multiply this, it's going to give you 48. Okay, that's why it's a perfect square trinomial. In this case, your a would be 8v and then your b would be 3, so the answer would be 8v plus 3 whole square. 8v plus 3 whole square. Factor, this is the, if you know, this is the difference of a square. This is the formula you can use: a square minus b square. The factor of this type of thing is a plus b times a minus b. You just need to find out what is a and what is b. 49 can be written as 7 square, and z is already square. So if you replace this a by 7 and b by z, then this is your answer: 7 plus z times 7 minus z. 7 plus z times 7 minus z. Okay, you can use the same idea here. 49 can be written as 7 square, 36x square can be written as 6x whole square. That is also perfect square, difference of perfect square, so you can use the same idea here. I'm going to skip that. Here, solve this. If you have equation like this where you have factor on the left side and then 0 on the right side, so you can use this. If you have a times b equals 0, so that means either a equals 0 or b equals 0. So by solving both of them, you can find out the answer for the variable. In this case, you have 5y plus 4 equals 0 and 8 plus y equals 0. Both of this situation could be possible, so we need to solve both of them. So for solving this, just subtract 4. It will give you 5y equal negative 4, and just divide both sides by 5. Y equal negative 4 over 5 is one of the possible answer. And by doing the same thing here, you just isolate the variable on the left side. So y equal negative 8 is another possible solution. So the answer for this, there are two possible answers, -4/5 and -8. And according to the instruction, if there is more than one solution, separate them with the commas. So -8 comma -4/5. Okay, next problem, solve for u. This is quadratic equation, so do not just cancel u and u. What you have to do is just bring everything on the one side and try to find the factors. This is problem 17. U square equal 11u. Bring this 11u to that side, so you can write down u square minus 11u equals 0. Now find out the factor on the left side. U is the common factor, so u minus 11 is the leftover. So by using this same property, that is called zero product property, the possibility is either u could be 0 or u minus 11 could be 0. If you solve for u here by adding 11, it gives you u equal 11. So there are two possible answers, 0 and 11. So use comma to separate those answers. So this is a quadratic equation, and to solve this one, either you can use quadratic formula or you can use a factoring method. That's up to you. Okay, so let me just, I need more extra paper here, so okay, extra page, not the paper. Okay, so this problem can be solved by using quadratic formula or factoring. That's up to you, whatever you remember. If you remember the quadratic formula, ax square plus bx plus c equals 0 can be solved by using this formula, x equal -b plus one time minus another time. That gives you two different answer, possible answer, divided by 2a. That's the quadratic formula. Since we already talked about factoring, so I'm going to use this quadratic formula to solve the answer, to solve this problem. Instead of x, you have u. So first of all, find out a, which is a number in front of u square, which is 1 in this case. B is a number in front of u, which is -4. And c is the constant number, which is -12. Now for finding the u, just plug b, a, and c here. So the answer would be u equal -4, positive one time and negative another time. You have to do this twice, okay, using plus and minus both. B square equals 16 minus 4ac. 4 times a is 1, c is -12, divide by 2 times 1. Just simplify this and it will give you two different answers. So I'm just going to continue. Negative times negative is +4, plus and minus 16. 12 times 4 is 48, so plus 48, divide by 2. This is 4 plus and minus, which is 64. Square root of 64 is 8, so 4 plus and minus 8 divided by 2. So you have two different answers. U equal 4 plus 8 by using plus, u equal 4 minus 8 by using minus. If you simplify this, 4 plus 8 is 12, divided by 2 is 6. 4 minus 8 is -4, divided by 2 is -2. So the answer, there are two possible answers, 6 and -2. You can write -2 comma 6 or 6 comma -2. Okay. Once again, this is quadratic equation. You can bring this 30x to the left side. So the problem would be 9x square minus 30x plus 25 equals 0. And now you can use the quadratic formula or factoring method to solve this equation. So I'm not going to repeat this. Let's go to the next problem. Okay. Whenever you have problem like this, which is called rational function or expression, rational expression, find all excluded value, meaning just find out the value of w, which makes this thing 0 on the bottom part, because that's the excluded value. So just take the bottom part and make it 0 and solve for the variable. that gives you all the excluded value. In this case it's a negative 6. Okay. Okay, let's go to the next problem. Simplify. For this type of expression, you have to find out the factor on the top. In this case, it's a v square minus 9 over v plus 3. Remember, this is the difference of square. V square minus 9 can be written as 3 square. So the factor on the top is v plus 3 and v minus 3. Factor on the bottom is v plus 3. You can cancel this common factor and leftover is v minus 3. That would be your answer. V minus 3. Next. Okay, to multiply means you just have to simplify. If you see any common factor on the top and bottom, you can cancel them. In this case, you can see that there is a b on the top, b on the bottom, you can cancel them. There is a y, 2y on the top, and there is a 5y on the bottom. You can cancel 2 of the y's. And there is a 5 on the bottom, there is a 15. So 15 can be divided by 5, which is 3. So you just have to cancel the common factor. Okay. This is problem number 22. So write down the factor for all of the given thing. Like 4 is actually 2 times, factor means common prime factor, and then 15 is 3 times 5 y. There is a multiplication sign, so you can always cancel if there is a multiplication sign on the top and multiplication sign on the bottom. 2 times 5 of y. So now you can cancel the common factor. 5 and 5 gone. There is a b here. I missed that. So b is cancel out. This 2 and this 2 cancel out. 1y cancel out. Another y cancel out. So the leftover on the top is 6. And leftover on the bottom is y to the power 3. So the answer is 6 over y to the power 3. You can do the same thing here. The only difference is you need to find out the factors. Whenever you see the plus sign, you cannot just cancel x and x. You have to have common factors. So I'm going to show you what you can do here. I need more pages, so I'm going to add more pages. Okay. So this is problem number 23. So first part, 4 can be written as 2 times 2. And the bottom part, there is a 5 common factor, so I can just factor out that 5 and I can write down the leftover thing inside the parentheses. And on the top there is x plus 5, on the bottom there is a 2 times x. Remember, this x plus 5 is one of the factor like 2 or x. So whenever you see that, you can cancel them. This 2 and this 2 cancel out. So the leftover on the top is 2 and leftover on the bottom is 5x. So the answer is 2 over 5x. Let's go to the next problem. Okay, so I'm going to just help you to simplify a little bit, and after that you can do the same thing as we did in problem 23. Whenever you see division, just write down the problem for the first part as is, and then you can change that division sign to the multiplication. But if you do that, you have to flip the the rational expression on the second part, which is it will be now x plus 9 over x plus 3. Okay, after this you need to find the factor on the top, factor on the bottom, and you need to just cancel out the common factor. So factor on the top is 5, the leftover is x plus 3. Factor on the bottom is 7, the leftover is x plus 9, and x plus 9 is already on the top, x plus 3 is already on the bottom, so you can cancel the common factor from the top and bottom. The answer is 5 over 7. 5 over 7. So the logic is, whenever you see the division sign, you just have to replace that by multiplication, and you need to flip the rational expression coming right after that division sign. Okay. Okay, now addition. Whenever you try to add, you have to look here on the denominator. If they have the same denominator, addition is very easy. You just have to combine them by just writing one denominator and copying everything as is with the sign. Remember, you have to apply the sign rule because there is a plus sign here, so I don't have to worry about the sign rule. But if there is a minus sign, then I have to apply that minus to this negative 17 as well. Now after that, we have to just simplify on the top, which is 2x plus x is 3x, negative 1 and negative 17 is negative 18. So x minus 6. So you have to factor everything as much as possible on the top and on the bottom. On the top there is a 3 as a common factor. After you factor out 3, you are going to get x minus 6 on the top, and you can cancel that thing from the bottom. So your answer would be 3 here. Okay. This problem is very similar to the previous problem, so I'm going to skip this. Let's go to problem 27. Again, similar problem because you have the same denominator, so finding the addition is easy. Here in this case, they don't have the same denominator, so we need to find out the common denominator, okay? So this is problem 28. So the least common denominator, so you can see that first denominator has 9x cubed. So if you find the prime factor of 9, which is 3 times 3 and x times x times x, that's coming from the first part. From the second part, it's a 2 times 3 x times x. So the least common denominator is, whatever you see the common thing, just copy that once, and for the leftover thing, just copy as is. So as you can see here, 1 3 is coming from here, 1 x is coming from here, another x is coming from here, but still you have 3 and 2, so you just have to copy that using the multiplication sign, and there is a x. So this is your LCD. 3 times 3 is 9 times 2 is 18, x cube your LCD. So you have to make this denominator 18x cube. Okay, so I'm going to copy this problem, 5 over 9x cube and 7 over 6x squared. Because the LCD is 18x cube, so to make this 18x cube, I just have to multiply this by 2. To make this 18x cube, I have to multiply this by 3x. So now, and whenever we multiply the bottom part, we have to do the same thing on the top part. So now this problem would be 10 over 18x cube, 21x over 18x cube. Now you have, since you have the same denominator, addition is very easy, like the previous problem. 18x cube, just copy 10 plus 21x, and if you can factor out the top part, then do that. Otherwise, this is your final answer. There is nothing, no common factor between 10 and 21x, so I'm just going to copy that. 10 plus 21x divided by 18x cube. So the idea is, you have to, if you have different denominators, then you have to find the LCD, and you have to change this denominator to the common the LCD. In this case, it's 18x cube. Same idea here. You don't have the common factor, so you need to find out the LCD, which is in this case x plus 3 times x minus 2. And you have to make this common denominator, which is, you have to multiply the first rational expression by x minus 2 on the top and x minus 2 on the bottom. And you have to multiply the second rational expression by x plus 3 on the top and x plus 3 on the bottom. After that, you are going to get the same denominator on the bottom, which is x plus 3 times x minus 2. And now the problem would be similar to the previous problem, so I'm going to skip that. Let's go to the next problem. Same idea, factor out 6 from here, it would be x minus 4, and LCD would be 6 times x minus 4, so you have to multiply the second expression by 6 to make the same denominator, and then idea is similar to the previous problem. Solve for y. Whenever you have this type of problem, first of all, you have to find out what is not possible, like y minus 8 is on the denominator, so y cannot be equal to 8. That is the restriction. You have to exclude that. Okay, so this is problem 31. Because y minus 8 is on the denominator, so you need to find out what makes that denominator 0. So by solving this equation, so by looking here, you can see that y equal 8 makes that denominator 0. So finally, eventually, whenever you find the solution, if y equal 8 is one of the solution, then you cannot take that as a solution. Now after finding this exclusion, try to just multiply both sides by common denominator, LCD. In this case, it's y minus 8, so I'm going to just multiply both sides by y minus 8. By doing that, this y minus 8 and y minus 8 will be cancelled out from the left side, so there will be 1 left over. On the right side, you have 8y minus 64. So this is the linear equation. So to solve this one, just add both sides 64. So that gives you 65 equal 8y. Now just divide both sides by 8. That will give you your answer y equals 65 over 8, which is not equal to 8. That's why you can accept this as answer. So your answer is 65 over 8. 65 over 8. Finally, the last problem. One more time, you can use the same approach here, but this time you have the two different sides with the two different denominators. So in this case, just multiply by each of this denominator, so but remember, when you try to find out the solution, x equals 0 and x equals 5, these are the exclusion. You cannot have x equals 0 and x equals 5. X equals 0 is coming from here, and x equals 5 makes this thing 0. So that's why these are the two solutions you cannot accept eventually after solving this. Now what you can do is, problem like this, you can just multiply, do the cross multiplication. That's the easy way. So that what happens is, this x minus 5 and 12 you can multiply and write it down on the left side, and you can multiply 22 and x. It gives you 22x on the right side. And now you just have to distribute 12x minus 60 and 22x. This is a linear equation. So just bring this 22x on the just subtract 12x. You can just do that, and by doing that, you have negative 60 on the left side and you have 10x on the right side. For finding the solution for x, just divide both sides by 10. It gives you negative 6. X equal negative 6 is one of the solution, but that negative 6 is not from this exclusion. As you can see here, you always have to check, is this from exclusion? No. So you can take that as an answer. Okay, that's practice test 4 test 1.